Big John Entertainment, in association with Pullman Media, brings you a Musicians Podcast. The hosts here aren't the focus. You, the musicians, are. It's all about your music. Right here, right now. In this episode, we feature the music of the Mondegreens, a Seattle-based rock band that just happened to be down here in San Diego, and we decided to get them on Futon.
No. I did. I decided that.
That's true.
Yeah, but I had to ask you. So
Trevor found the Mondegreens and had them come on the Futon. Mm-hmm. We got to sit down and chat with them and play a few of their songs. And
we did. We learned a lot. We learned a lot of words.
Yes, we did.
Thanks to David.
Well, we'll do
And we are live, and we're sitting down with foreigners right here. Not the band Foreigner. We're sitting with the Mondegreens, right?
Yeah, that's us.
All righty.
We're cold as ice.
Got a lot of the cold as ice. Wow. I didn't mean for that to happen. So, all right. So you guys, you might as well be cold as ice. You guys are all the way down. Well, first of all, welcome to the Dusty Futon, guys. Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, heck yeah. And now you guys are from Seattle, Washington.
Well, originally we're from Chico, California, the small town in Northern California, but we're living up there now for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what brought you up to Seattle then?
Just kind of the desire to move to a bigger pond. Chico is we can never say enough good things about it. It's just a super fertile ground. It's like a hometown with a small music scene that has put out some of our favorite artists ever, including the big guys. And so we just wanted to move to a big city, and we came up with 3 or 4 options, and that checked the most boxes. So
what is the music scene like there? I mean, what is the reception for your style? Because you still bring the California style. You brought that up to Seattle. So how's that reception up there?
It's good. I think it's once people hear it, it's good. It's been a thing with constant trial and error trying to get people to hear it.
There's a lot of levels of venues and stuff, and you have to work your way up totem poles and making a new community. Coming from Chico, where out of the gate we knew a ton of people and had a lot of friends and bands, and could really easily set up shows when we wanted to. Up to Seattle, where you had to rebuild kind of from the ground up a new community. We had some friends, but we were starting a lot lower than we had in Chico. There was a learning curve there, and just kind of getting into playing better shows. But I definitely like the niche we've carved out and the people that we've met.
How hard, as a band, how hard would that be to take that? I mean, okay, let me back up. In Chico, we have 5 people in this room, and man, it is already starting to be like a sweat box.
It's warming up.
It's getting stuffy.
Thank God the fan's still on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So did you have the full complement when you moved to Seattle?
We had a different lineup than we have now. So Russell and David, and
Struggled to
you know what? Let's go ahead and name the band though. We got David, Russell, the original 2 members of the band, and then you have Scotty, the drummer.
Yep. Hey.
And when did you join it?
I joined
spring 2014.
Yeah, right before they went on their tour to South by Southwest.
And you guys officially started after a Christmas party in 2013.
Wow.
I want to get to that later.
Yeah, it's quite a story.
We'll probably get to that after the first song. So, but go on. You were saying something else, and I just completely distracted you.
We
were introducing everyone, and we so rudely skipped these 2.
This is a real meta distraction series.
Yeah. Well, that and that's fine. Okay, so the rest of the band, Scotty, and then Noah,
Joe.
All right. So when you formed in Chico, what was your band like?
When we formed it was December of 2013.
3 people. We started out with 3, and it was just 2 guitars, a bass, and 3 vocals. And just before our first tour, we pulled on our friend Matt Misquez, and he played drums for us. And he just we didn't even have a real kit. We were borrowing kits at every venue, or we were playing. There were a lot of shows where we just put a mic inside of a guitar case and a kick pedal in front of it, and he just played through that. And actually,
if you crank down the highs and crank up the lows and put a little reverb on it, it sounds like a shitty kick drum. It's
kind of house music-y, but it worked. It
Yeah.
worked. It worked for that first tour when
We
you know.
toured-
Ooh, do you know what house music is?
Oh, come on.
Well, we're in a house, right?
We are in a house.
I used to go to raves. All right, does that answer your question?
Really?
Yeah. See,
That answers
little
the
things
question.
you don't know about.
Is that
me.
why you like touch all?
That
all
answers one
yourself all
question
the
and
time?
raises a lot of other
You
ones.
still got
Yeah, it
a
does.
little bit of leftover ecstasy from
We're
the
not here.
90s.
We're not here to talk about me. But yes, I know what house music is.
Yeah. So we toured in my Subaru Forester
Christ.
with 4 members, a full complement of instruments, and like the biggest Yakima skybox you've ever seen.
I
on
was
top.
about to say, what
Yeah.
Was
would
it
you
like
have
one
on
of those
top of that?
cartoons?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
cartoon
It
where
was
it's gonna
like
hit
a
the
Goofy
bridge
movie
and-
where
Yeah,
they
it
just
was
have-
like
Yeah.
yeah, it was like a dirty 22-year-old hippie version of the Beverly Hillbillies, pretty much. Like,
Is it kind of like the opening of the movie Vacation?
yeah, that's exactly right.
on
Yeah.
the nose.
Except instead of Wally World, it was a bunch of shitty bars that we didn't get paid at.
Oh man, and that, you know, honestly, that's kind of the thing that really sucks about the music industry that people don't realize when they go to see a show. Most of the money that they think is going towards the band
Yeah.
isn't. The
Yeah.
only way you get money is by selling merch.
Right? Yeah.
Like it's kind of a pay to play, even up all the way up the West Coast. We
Yeah.
have that issue.
yeah. It's and we've
gotten better about it.
Yeah, and we've gotten pretty diligent about, not expanding too far beyond our means and playing, on our last 4 or 5 West Coast tours, it's been, Seattle, Eugene, Ashland, Redding, Chico, San Francisco, all the way down to San Diego, and we have these spots we stop. And every time you go to a place and every time you reach out to the same booker and you start to build a relationship, you can kind of ratchet that guarantee up versus a percentage of the door or something. And, you can say, okay, these guys bring the goods. Like, if you are there and you're a professional and you go to work and you do your job, you can start to, and that's,
You said one word in there that is important that a lot of bands don't understand is that professional.
Yeah.
You have to exhibit, and this is what's tough about this industry right now is you don't have anybody really on your back or in your corner.
Yeah.
You have to be your own representative. You have to be your tour manager, unless you find somebody magically who just loves everything about you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah.
No, not often.
No. Yeah.
No.
He doesn't know.
I got no idea.
But anyway, and to have that professionalism and be able to create those relationships, that's how you actually move beyond a small town band. And you guys are pulling that off.
we're, inch by inch.
Yeah, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. So, you what was that?
Nothing. It was,
No.
yeah.
Oh, come on. No
Yeah.
holds barred. Let's do this.
There's
Peter, Paul and Mary
We're-
song that
yeah,
he's quoting.
we're
for some-
we're diving down a rabbit
some
hole.
reason.
Very first tour, his dad threw in one of his old CDs into our car, and there was a Peter, Paul, and Mary song.
Which one? I actually.
Inch by inch, row by row,
Oh my god.
Gonna make that garden grow.
And
Did
we
you
just
hear that?
lost like 10 fans.
Yeah.
You guys are losing viewers
But
quickly.
you got some fans because of those harmonies real quick on the spot. That was nice. You nailed it. That was beautiful. All right. Well, speaking of the audio, let's take a listen to one of the songs you sent us. Which one do you want to listen to first?
Let's start at the beginning. Well, Sunbleached Hair. Yeah.
Sunbleached Hair.
This is off of our
I
full
love it.
length. We have out right now. We have a full length that we released before heading to South by Southwest 2015.
Okay, we'll talk about that after the song.
Yeah.
The South by Southwest.
And we released that full length. We recorded, mixed, and mastered it. I guess we recorded and mixed it in Chico, and we sent it up for mastering in Portland. And we basically did this whole from Chico all the way out to South by and back tour to release it.
Smart.
It was.
That sounds like a fun
It,
tour.
it was
That was a
smart,
fun
but it
tour.
was
Yeah.
fun. It was all get out. Yeah.
So what's the name of this album then?
This album's called Kid Tell Time. Yeah.
Kid Tell
Kid
Time.
Tell
Kid
Time.
Tell Time.
KTT.
All right, I'm writing that down. That's why it's taking me forever to respond. Okay, so we're gonna listen to "Sun-Bleached Hair" by the Mondegreens off of Kid Tell Time. Okay. So I got to say this real quick. We turned the song on and freaking Russell and David look at each other like they're about to shit their pants.
Yeah.
This is the live version.
Yeah, this is a we've been we've been like kind of pushing back and forth the idea of coming out with a live album. We have this series of holiday shows. Every time we come back to Chico from Seattle during the holidays, we play a big holiday show. We have a bunch of people at.
And this great sound guy, Matt Franklin, he just pulled everything from the board last time. He's like this good friend of ours, and he's been helping us with the idea of doing a live album too. And
so this is the demo for the live album.
This is an unmixed live
Enjoy.
rock cut. Yeah.
Right here on the Dusty Futon.
Oh man, that kid is oh, she doesn't seem so bad. Stolen gin and complicated sin. Try just been all we need. But rules have changed. They just don't think.
That's a good live version. I mean, I watching you guys
there, but for the grace of God, go on.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
This is at least also still with our old lineup. So the other founding member, Jack Knight, left recently to pursue production and doing his own studio stuff. And so we don't have him anymore. Since he left, we've added Joe and Noah, our friends over there, on keys, vocals, and guitar. So it sounds similar because it's still that same 4-piece, but we took out there's like a little synth part on the album, and
yeah, it's just it's pretty filled out on the album.
So that's the live. Now you said you're toying with the idea of doing a live album. So what does that entail? Because a lot of people don't understand the difficulty of producing a live album.
Yeah,
so go ahead and talk about what you've been developing so far.
I mean, we all grew up listening to like the great live albums like Zeppelin at the Royal Albert Hall, or the one I think of is Rage Against the Machine live at the Grand Olympic Auditorium. Like I had that, I probably wore out that DVD when I was
similarly though we started out like the first iteration of the Mondegreens was kind of just like a cover band that did like sort of bluegrass folksy tunes just to do harmonies, and we were really into the Avett Brothers, and we just we would go to their shows and we just lived off their live albums. They had versions of like songs that we were so endeared by the fact that we liked the live version as much or more than their studio versions. And so we've kind of wanted to recreate that in our own ways, and there are different stages of that because this was a live performance where there was an audience and like there's like errors and there's just a lot going on, so it's not perfect. It has those imperfections, and we like that, and we've been toying with that idea. But also the last song that we're gonna play today, Magnolia, is live, but it's not with an audience. We just did it in the studio in a really like controlled environment where we have everything like mic'd and we can do more than one take even if we want to. And,
cool.
So that's, I think on the horizon, that's the next live album that is likely going to be released.
we'll have like a whole session probably come out as like a Spotify album.
Nice.
But we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get to that because you were telling before the song you toured the Kid Tell Time album all the way from Seattle down to Texas for South by Southwest.
From Chico. It was before we moved to Seattle. Yeah,
Okay,
it was the like 4 months before we moved to Seattle. And it was awesome, man. I mean, we were
it was a blast.
we had never done anything like that. We kickstarted all of our incredibly generous family, fans, friends, funded the tour van that's sitting right outside.
Wow.
So we were able to pay for it outright. Bought it, the Mondegreens bought it together, and it's been like I said, we were touring in my Subaru Forester before that. So this has been like a total game changer.
And we had our first lineup change. Our drummer left right before that tour, and we were scrambling to find a replacement. It's kind of a lot to ask somebody to be like, hey, can you join a band, and then in a month can you leave for like 6 weeks to go on tour with us?
Yeah.
And we asked Scotty, and he literally said, like, yeah, let me ask my girlfriend.
What?
Yes.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I was asked on a Friday because I worked with Jack, the old member, and I was like, let me check with work. And what that meant was I was gonna go home and ask my girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. She said yes, and I showed up Monday to work, kind of prepared to be fired.
Yeah.
And luckily they were super cool with it.
Oh,
They
nice.
let me leave and then come back to my job.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, especially for a musician. Like, you're a musician? No, fuck you.
Yeah, no. We'll find someone else.
Yeah. We'll get somebody who doesn't care or who doesn't have another life.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing that is allowed for that is, and this is actually something that's, I think, kind of an interesting side facet of our band, is that when Jack was in the band, all four of us worked in the school system. We all work in special ed in the school system.
Oh, so you had summers off to really push.
Right. So we're all we're getting paid by Seattle Public Schools right now. We're on the clock.
Nice.
So South by Southwest, is that kind of like the peak of where you're at right now, and you just want to keep moving forward from there, or have you gotten anything else since then? Anything down the pipeline that kind of like that?
I think South by Southwest has been a great, it sounds really cool for us to be like, 2015 South by Southwest.
Yeah.
In actuality, it was a great endpoint and a great like goal of ours, and something we could be like, hey, we're going South by Southwest. The shows there were kind of underwhelming. It wasn't. It was more about,
that wasn't the point.
Going to South by Southwest. We met a whole bunch of people there. We rubbed shoulders with a bunch of like-minded folks and went to a bunch of parties and a bunch of house shows, and we went to a co-op show at University of Texas. Like, it was awesome. The better part of that was playing all the shows on the way there and back. We played in Vegas, we played at the Soda Bar here, where we played last night as well, and we started building a lot of, that was our first real major West Coast tour, and we started building all these relationships that we're continuing now. So, and
you're on a tour right now. Now, did that start in Chino or Chico, or did it start in, was it Chino or Chico?
Chico. Yeah. Chino is where the guy from the OC is from. Chico is the cool town where Sierra Nevada's from.
Yeah, Chico's up north, more north, and Chino is kind of where that. Chino is where that.
It's the prison.
Prison, yeah. And Chico's actually up by like in the Modesto area.
No, even far. It's halfway between San Francisco and the Oregon border.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's that far north.
Yeah,
It's that far. Wow.
It's
where all the green.
Yeah.
Is.
No, that's humble. That's humble.
I meant trees.
Yeah.
I meant trees.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there was no winking involved on that statement.
There's street term for him anyway. So.
No. So
our first show was just outside of Bend in Powell Butte at this small festival called Crawfest. Our friend Joey Santavica invited us out, and they'd added a Thursday night, and he reached out to us and invited us to this festival, and I think we're gonna be going back again next year. It was a very fun time.
Sweet. What was the festival again?
Crawfest. It was their 10th year.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about
Yeah,
that.
I booked. He said, hey, I got this festival outside of Bend. It's called Crawfest, and I was like, dude, we're gonna eat some crawfish. Like, we're gonna have a boil. And like, turns out it's just run by this guy named Jake Crawford. Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
never
what a
put that
letdown!
together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
probably the biggest letdown.
It's a
you've ever
letdown, but I
experienced.
bet,
I will say it was a letdown until we met Jake Crawford. He was one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Well, and obviously the event was fun, and you're willing to do it again. So it's just the fact that there's no crawfish.
Yeah.
You can bring your own crawfish.
We'll work
next
on
year.
that.
Yeah,
We'll
next
take care of
time,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring
You
a
get a
couple pounds.
crawfish. You get a crawfish.
You'd be the Oprah of crawfish.
Yeah. That's what most people call me anyway. So
They call you crawfish.
the Oprah of crawfish. Yeah.
Oprah of crawfish.
He's earned some very specific nicknames.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear some of them.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Cool.
Okay. So on your Bandcamp page, you only have one album. Is that an EP?
Is it a passing phrase?
Yes.
Yeah, that's our most recent release. It's
Okay.
it's an EP. We released it last September after another West Coast run.
It's
and
mostly comprised of. They're not B-sides, but they're kind of leftovers from the Kid Tell Time recording sessions. We recorded them all together and then released them 2 years later, or like a year and a half later. So it's 3 songs. The first 3 songs, Birkdale Way, Dead Ringer, and Red Rocks, are from that session. And then we went up to the Unknown Studio in Anacortes and recorded a cover of Elliott Smith's Twilight, and that's the most recent recording that we've done, and we tagged that onto the EP. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, you know what? That's great because you've sent us Twilight to play. So
We have.
and then that's off of the.
And this is a studio version.
Yeah, we're gonna pray. This one's
Sure
not
about
live.
that? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
All
we'll
right.
find out together.
So let's go ahead and listen. Now this again is off of Kid Tell Time, right?
No,
No,
this is
off
a
the
passing phrase. This is
so this is not on a Kid Tell Time.
no.
This is on the EP that's on our Bandcamp.
Right,
Yeah.
and yeah, I feel like an idiot. All right, let's let's listen to the Mondegreens Twilight off of A Passing Phrase, available on Bandcamp.
Haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Better stop now before I start crying. Go off to sleep in the sunshine. I don't wanna see the day when it's dying. She's a sight to see, and she's good to me. But I'm already somebody's baby. She's a pretty thing. She knows everything. But I'm already somebody's baby. You don't deserve to be lonely, but those drugs you got won't make you feel better. Pretty soon you'll find it's the only little part of your life you're keeping together. And I'm nice to you. I can make it through. That you're already somebody's baby. I could make you smile. If you stayed a while. But how long will you stay with me, baby?
So this is a cover song.
Yeah.
So tell me about who it's from.
This is by Elliott Smith. He is a singer-songwriter from Portland. He passed away, I guess that was like 12 years ago. Something like that.
Yeah. More. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But his discography has just been floating around. Like all of us separately were very into him even before we were friends. And we were kind of spitting around like what cover we wanted to do, because we thought we wanted to do a cover as the last song that we were going to tack on to Passing Phrase. And his name just kept popping up, and then this song is just so like melodic and pretty, and the harmonies that are already there are just like.
Who's the main vocalist on this track?
Me, Russell. I am
Me, Russell.
Yeah.
Me, Russell.
Me, myself,
I
Russell.
am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Yeah, I'm singing the lead part on it.
Scotty just smacked his forehead. What the hell am I doing here?
It's cool though, because this is also Scotty's only recorded song with us right now. Yeah, or that we have on an album.
Nice.
He's playing on Magnolia, the other song we brought with us today.
Perfect.
But for like studio stuff that we have released right now, this is his contribution at this point.
Nice. Now, is everybody or Scotty? Are you vocalizing on this at all?
I sing, but without a microphone.
Okay. That makes sense.
Pretty vigilant about that.
I can tell because he's like barely touching. It's like he's scared to even go near that microphone.
Well, it's hard to fit a microphone between the bars of the cage that we keep him in at the back of the van. So
I got to tell you though, that song, I mean, that's a good choice for a cover tune because those harmonies are amazing.
Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
That was definitely something we wanted to lean into.
And it's the cadence of the vocals are like very deliberate and kind of very open, and so we were able to. I don't know. We've always...
it reminded me of the Eagles version of, what is that? Seven Bridges Road. Have you ever heard that?
I haven't. I haven't heard
the style of harmony. Because on the Eagles 88 Live Tour album, I think it's the 88 Live Tour album, they did that version live and it was recorded. And it's a cover tune as well.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool. Like, it's an interesting connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also because you guys have that California soul. You guys have that on your bio.
Yeah.
The California soul style. But with that harmony, it adds a folk level to it.
Yeah.
And it's very unique. And it goes to the style of music you guys listen to. You've talked about Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys listen to some interesting...
Thanks, parents.
Yeah, you know what?
Thanks.
That sounded sarcastic, actually.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, they're very good musicians.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And they're underrated because they're folk
Yeah,
artists.
yeah.
And it's kind of sad, but so tell me then, obviously you two are the main influence for the style of music, and by you two I mean David and Russell, right?
I think that since Scott has joined the band, we've continued to evolve, and I think that, and even since Joe and Noah have joined, they literally have been in the band for like 5-6 months, depending on who you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're in a very transitional phase right now. When it was just Jack, our former member, and Russ and I, we each of us had our own songwriting style, each of us had our own singing style, and we kind of created this like oleo that we Russell just smirked at me for using that word. We created. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we originally it was very Russell, David, Jack band, and we had our own style. But since Scott has really made his imprint, especially I play bass, and so it has been incredible to kind of lock in with him and create this rhythm section that really has developed its own life. And then to have Noah and Joe come in and they've put their own flair on things. Joe at first learned all of Jack's parts, but then has really been branching out and like creating all these different elements that we didn't have before. And then Noah is in the jazz studies program at University of Washington, so he has this whole nother aspect that we have also never had in the band. So we're a very, very
I'm almost glad you didn't say that into the mic.
Yeah. We've been evolving at a pretty fast rate over the last year or so, which has been cool.
All right, so Noah, you play guitar keys. You're the keys guy, right?
Keys, yes.
And he sings.
I saw him during the last song just holding a note while the rest of you were emulating your instruments. He's just sitting there like this. It was beautiful.
Were you actually?
Just
A the
one
entire
finger
time.
pointing down.
That song's like almost a punishment for Noah because in the recording there's a common tone that Elliott Smith has that we like wanted to homage in our recording. So the keys part includes holding down an A for the entire song.
I had some octaves in there. Some
He
A's up
does,
here,
and
some
we'll
A's down
we'll
there.
watch him try to hit other A's just to not be bored out of his mind. Because we have this world class jazz pianist at our hands, and he's playing a single note. Poor kid.
Oh, that's funny.
He tolerates us.
Now, do you Noah? Do you play just keys, or do you do like synthesizer stuff live, or I mean, is that where where your goal is?
So I mainly do organ, some piano, some pad, some Rhodes, some Whirly. Basically, whatever I need to do to fill out the sound of the band in the first place. A lot of organ though. The loud, just like.
Trevor, did
slides
you
and
get
stuff.
any of that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can
Not
tell
a
you,
bit.
Those are
I'm not a
styles.
musician, by the
No.
way.
Yeah.
In case you couldn't tell.
We're 30 minutes in, and this guy has said like 5 words.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to throw in here?
Yeah, I got stuff. I'm just.
I mean, this is our show. I mean,
I
I
know.
know I'm the host, but you're the co-host.
Co-host, yeah. Well, you guys had such a good thing going on.
That's
I didn't
true.
want to, you know.
Crazy Ira and the Dudes.
You talk about that time we had the stripper do math. Oh man.
I don't think John knows what that's from.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's from a TV show.
That's from Parks and Rec.
No, I don't do Parks and Rec. It reminded me of the
Office.
Family Guy version.
Oh,
though.
never mind.
When they did when Brian and Stewie had their own show.
Oh, yeah.
When they tried to
That's
make
why I
the
was
chick catch
laughing.
a hot dog in her mouth.
That's just as good, all right?
That's hardly even a parody, honestly.
No, yeah.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing.
I mean, if you've seen Howard Stern's Private Parts, you
Yeah.
know it's not a parody. It's
Yeah.
not the way it was.
Great movie.
Sadly, it's not the way it is anymore. And I actually used to work in radio, local radio,
Really?
Oh yeah.
for
We
3 years.
used to work in local radio.
Well, you used to work in local radio. What did you do again? Promotions
And engineering.
and then engineering
Jesus.
right before you quit.
Right before I left.
And I was the producer of a morning show.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, so I got a little inside information of how the industry works, and I said, this sucks. So
Yeah.
it's kind of why I'm doing this. But enough about me. Back to you guys. Tell me about this 2013 Christmas party. First of all, your bio on your website, the Mondegreensmusic.com, right?
Correct.
The bio, who wrote that bio?
It was a Google Doc that kind of got contributions from all three of us.
Really?
We
Mostly David.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote the scaffolding of it, and then they're like, okay, let's turn this sentence into this. And
You don't like how nerdy he is, do you?
You put a microphone in his mouth, he'll drop some big words on you.
Yeah.
He'll drop an oleo of big words on you.
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
No, I love it. I love the big words. 'Cause
that was
that's
kind
just-
of Russell kind of misused that word actually. So.
All right, we got a linguist in the
man.
house.
My vocabulary has jumped from like 8th grade level to 12th grade level since joining this band because of David.
It's jumped like an oleo, I'd say.
Yeah.
What is that? An entire oleo or a half oleo?
Like a holio. Yeah.
Like a Holio level.
Very amalgam.
I am Cornolio.
Need some TV for my bunghole.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Are you Mike Judge?
That's on point, bro.
No. Don't make me smack you, Beavis.
I have a friend that looks just like Butthead.
No shit.
Yeah. No, that was Beavis.
I know.
Okay.
Beavis laughing at butt. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow, we just had a okay.
That
So
went on a whole oleo
so back
of
to the
th-
Christmas
An
party.
oleo of digression.
Back to I don't think you're using that word.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Keep using that word. That word
I don't
makes me
think-
think it means-
Inconceivable.
Okay.
We're diving
Let's just
off
all
the
start yelling big words.
I know this is like tandem off of a tandem off of a tandem right here.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what's great about the Dusty Futon. You never know what the hell you're gonna find.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Did we just become best friends?
We sure did.
I think something just clicked.
Oh, man.
Okay, so back to the party. The official origins of the band at a 2013 Christmas party. Tell me about
Yeah, we were pretty drunk.
that. And that's the story. All right, thank you guys.
All right,
That's
cool.
at least a starting block for this story. Is we'd been
As
playing
most good
for a long
stories are.
time together. Just like there's this breezeway in the library at Chico State, like called Merriam, and we'd go there and we'd just like play music. Like anytime we were all home, anytime we could, we'd just go like sing songs together, and we'd always connected and bonded over that, and we were like doing that. And then at this party, we're all hanging out, and like we'd been like playing music that night, and Jack, the member who's not
in the band anymore,
in this band
One of the
anymore.
original members who's
He's
not
no
here
longer
anymore.
with us.
Yeah, he came just like storming through the crowd.
Like I swear to God, he was more off of the ground than on the ground. Like Russell and I were kind of like chatting about something, and Jack just comes like just roaring into the room and
flying.
basically like bounces off both of us and goes, "Guys, I've been thinking a lot about it. We got to make this thing a band."
And we did, and
we did.
That's honestly all it took. We were both just like, yeah, we do. You're absolutely right.
I literally flew away for, it was like December 20th or something. It was before Christmas. It was at a Christmas party at their house called the Pine Cone. I flew away to spend Christmas with my family on the East Coast. Came back. We recorded 3 like videos of each one of our songs that we have surreptitiously taken off the internet.
We
since.
scrubbed them off the internet.
Scrub the past. The past.
Yeah,
They were very humble
but
beginnings, but
that
Changing
was
history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are our alternative facts.
That's something that's something to put on a release, like when you're at your 20-year anniversary.
Yeah,
like,
right.
This is what we looked like
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe not. Okay.
It was like
maybe we don't go that way.
it was like three camera angles. One of them was like his dad's point and shoot. One of them was like a cracked iPod Touch. Like it was like pretty,
wow.
pretty
Not
grimy.
even an iPhone, just like straight iPod Touch.
Yeah, iPod Touch. Yeah, that was.
It's what we had to work.
They
Yeah.
were capable of video, but they were not capable of calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. And then they finally upgraded it to Wi-Fi calling, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they did, with your face in there.
With your face there. FaceTime.
FaceTime
FaceTime.
requires
I
Wi-Fi.
got that.
yeah.
That took me a second. I don't know why. I didn't get much sleep last night, so bear with me. All right.
Hey, likewise, man.
Neither did
Well,
I.
dude, you guys freaking rock, and I want to hear this new song. So tell me about this new album that you are working on right now.
There's a pretty incredible studio that's based in an old Catholic church that they bought and refurbished up in Anacortes, Washington.
It's where we recorded Twilight.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same
Twilight.
same place.
We went up there and we saw it and we recorded there and we're like, this place is beautiful. And like that was when was that? We recorded Twilight.
That was 2 like Mays ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like that was the like genesis of the idea of I really wanted to come back there and like record live because it's a wonderful space and it's gorgeous. It's just this big.
And we did
open
it's a
church.
video production. So
Okay.
this is actually the audio of a video that we released 3 days ago.
Okay.
It's the first in a series of 3 songs. We took this production company from Seattle, Recording Candy. They came up, did a 3 video shoot of all these 3 songs, and so we have like not only the audio of it, but it's this huge cavernous room with dusty boxes and incredible old instruments stuff lining the
Do
walls.
they have a dusty futon there?
There might be a dusty
There might
futon
be.
there.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
You see what I
I
did
see
there?
it. I see
Okay.
it.
Yeah, trademark.
Ding. Gotta drop it as soon as I can. Anytime I got a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you said you've already released one of those songs. I think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so-
one that we're gonna play right now, Magnolia. We released a video with it 3 days ago, and we're gonna be releasing one of David's and then another one of mine within the next month or 2.
And are these are eventually going to go on in an album?
Yeah, we're gonna once we get back.
Jack, the founding member, did the mixing of this. We brought it back. He has his own little record label that he just started up, and so he Stardate Records did the mixing of it, which was pretty cool to be able to still like work with him on the project.
Heck yeah.
Because we've played these songs with him and he knows how they sound and knows what we want and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And so we have these, and we might remix them down the line and then do. But the plan is to do like a Spotify album of just like live songs from the Unknown Studio up in
Spotify
Anacortes.
needs to start sponsoring us with all the name drops they get.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
right.
We'll get to them. We'll get them eventually.
Cool.
They'll come to us.
Hey, maybe they can send you a $5 check every 2 months too.
It's been really helping us out.
Yeah.
Every little bit counts.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, let's take a listen to the Mondegreens Magnolia, and this is off of a future live album.
live?
It's live in studio, so it's not like at a venue. We set up and everything's recorded at the same time, so it's not like we're like recording things over other things. It's all
tracking.
Yeah,
It's
it's like we performed it live with.
It's
nobody,
live like this recording
Right.
is live.
Yeah.
So there's no and then you edit it.
There's no post.
Yeah.
There's no post.
Well, there's
editing.
post editing, but it's still a live recording. The whole piece is a live recording.
And there's no editing as far as cutting and pasting. All of it is one session.
Right.
But there was like mixing of bringing up and down levels and stuff.
Crawl into your head. I had so much room to play. So I ran around you all night. But it's fine, 'cause I'm fine sleeping straight through the day. And you've been out on the town. You've been running around with your friends. But oh no, my God, this is not how I thought this would end. Whoa, this is how it all ends. This is how it all ends. Oh, this is how it all ends. Come heaven or high water, I'll be crawling around on your skin. And when I finally came knocking, you should've let me in. Well, I see this look on your face, not the one staring back, but the one in place. And I know it's not me, it's not mine, it's not free, it's not fine, but I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I know I tend to let people down, but I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying.
That's freaking awesome.
Thanks.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
you.
Go ahead.
Worth mentioning that. So whereas Twilight is our only our only studio recording with Scotty, that's right now our only current lineup recording. So Noah and Joe are both in the studio and they're in the video and stuff of us. playing
Hell
that
yeah,
song.
guys.
So-
Well, it sounded awesome, the cohesion and the quality. For only being 5 or 6 months in,
Yeah.
you guys really nailed it. I like to hear that. So this is this a new song where you guys work together, all 5 of you, in writing it, or?
I wrote it.
Okay.
And then me, Scotty, David, and Jack, we had a version before they joined. So we toured on it for a little while and we played it at some venues. And it's gone through a few different iterations, but we definitely arranged it together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're kind of only now are we getting to the point where we're writing as a 5-some,
The production style is very kind of surfy.
Yeah.
Interesting, with a lot of echo and a lot of kind of warbling going on. Is that a sound that you guys are overall going for?
Yeah, that's definitely something we lean into, but also with that space, the studio itself has its own like kind of distinct room sound, just because it's this big empty church and we played it live, you know, so like the drums are in the room with the vocal mics.
It's so fun
and
to play
I
at
could
this
tell
studio.
you. Yeah, I could tell you were so
Lit right up.
excited.
yeah.
He lit right up.
So there's already just this like really pretty beautiful sheen of reverb that is just over the recordings that you do there.
Well, it's great because it mixed in with exactly the sound you guys are going for. And what's another thing about your music? It's harmony driven, but your music focused. Like your lyrics are kind of not simplistic, but they're poetic, but still it's not the focus of the songs, right?
Cool.
Yeah, I think we've always, lyric. We all.
Lyrics are all. Put that down.
Right,
Lyrics
yeah.
are always important.
Right. But I think you're right that we've always we almost use harmonies as an instrument instead of just throwing them on something. That's something we've always really focused on, because that was early on we weren't a very musically I'm gonna use this word, virtuosic band. It's like we didn't
Russell's look.
Looks right at Russell. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna disappoint you.
He's like, I've been dealing with this shit for 5 years.
Yeah. Wait, no, but
At least he gave us a heads up this time.
Yeah. Okay.
He did. He gave us a warning. That was nice.
I gave you a warning, and I would use another word, except that's exactly what I mean.
I would use a different word, except I'm pretentious.
Yeah, I would use I would use a different word, except I'm just so much smarter than you that it's crazy.
If I weren't better than you, I would use simpler words.
Anyway, my point is early on we were coming out of high school.
Early on we weren't as good as we are now.
Yeah,
how about that?
Pretty much.
That?
I mean, we just didn't.
We weren't as virtuosic as we are now.
I think another thing that I think you're touching on is some of my musical idols, especially with Magnolia, which is my song. So I wrote the lyrics for that, and a lot of my lyric idols, both sets of them. This song's had 2 different sets of lyrics, but both of my music, a lot of my music idols are pretty. I really respect the way they can do really clear, beautiful ideas in not flashy words.
Yeah.
So
I just love that irony right now.
Yeah.
I don't really like using big words.
Yeah, I know.
And the person to your
David
left.
shakes
I'm
his
certainly
head in
leaning in
disgust.
that right now.
It's a complete clash of ideas
Spectacular.
here. I love it. Spectacular, spectacular.
If we keep this going, we can also talk about the breakup of the band that's about to.
Well, we don't want that to happen before the episode's done. So,
full podcast.
I want to thank you guys again for taking the time off your tour to come over here and swing by.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Heck yeah, man! Anytime you're back in town, hit us up, and if we have a session recording and we can, we'll definitely get you guys back on. Because
if you have a show, I will go.
Yeah,
he might not.
I probably won't.
But I will be there.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks again. Have a great rest of your tour.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.
Guys.
Oh wait, hold on. Social media. Where do you guys?
Oh
at?
yeah, plugs.
Yeah, we. Our .com is www.themondegreensmusic.com. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/TheMondegreensMusic, Instagram /TheMondegreens, Twitter /MondegreensLife.
Where's the what? Mondegreen Life?
Yeah.
Somehow Mondegreens
It's a lifestyle now.
Yeah.
Lifestyle. Well, it does sound like a lifestyle with your music. So, and I had one more thing I wanted to say, but fuck it, I forgot it. So, alrighty, guys, thanks again, and have a great rest of your tour.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this Big John Entertainment production. Please rate us on iTunes and subscribe to Big John's newsletter on Facebook to get all the updates. Don't forget to subscribe through your favorite podcast service to get all this new music right on your device. Thank you for listening to The Dusty Futon. Follow us on Facebook @The Dusty Futon, Twitter @Dusty Futon, and Instagram @Dusty Futon. Music written by Big John and produced by Timmy D. Coleman Media.